Software User Manual, Compmitech Innovation, Incorporated. To enter the device's web control panel, you must find the IP address of the device you plan to use. To do this, there are two methods. Method 1, LCD display. If your system is equipped with LCD display, please refer the IP address shown on the LCD panel as the IP address assigned to their device. The main login screen will now appear. If this is your first time logging in, the default username and password are both admin. Method 2. Search MCS software. You can also use the utility software included on the software CD and running searchmx.exe, then clicking search. Once found, type the IP address into your web browser or double-click the device name, and your internet browser should launch, taking you to the control panel login screen. If this is your first time logging in, the default username and password are both admin. Pressing Setup will bring up this prompt. Enter the default password admin to enter the utility. Disk Setup Utility. Entering the user interface, a prompt appears asking the user to run the disk setup utility. Entering the disk and RAID management. After formatting, it may look similar to this. Web-based user interface. Main desktop. The control panel gives you a familiar desktop interface to work with. By clicking the home icon will let you to power off, reboot or log out the system. Clicking icons opens up a window with settings options contained within them. You can have multiple windows open to have the ability to multitask. Quick Start. Quick Start offers quick setup so you can get the system up and running in just a matter of minutes. Network to TCP or IP. For users with DHCP server settings turned on, which it is in most cases, the DHCP option can be checked and select Obtain DNS server address automatically. In this case, every time the system boots up, an IP address is assigned to the system relying on IP availability. For users who prefer fixed IP addresses, just enter the IP address for this device. The DNS server can be set automatically or usually type in the router IP address. Note: make sure the IP address does not conflict with other devices in the same network system. Network to Wi-Fi only available in MCS5 with USB Wi-Fi dongle installed. Wi-Fi more AP more, access point more. MCS works like the access point for Wi-Fi clients to connect to this device. Both Gigabit Ethernet wired and Wi-Fi are active. STA more, station mode. MCS will use WiFi to connect to a network. The wired port will be inactive. Note: if in STA more and the Wi-Fi access point is not accessible, use the default button Revert the connection to wired Ethernet. If there is additional drives need to be formatted, please click on Disk and Volume tab. To enter the disk and RAID management utility, Network to DNS, third-party dynamic DNS services support for users wish to access data from the Internet using dynamic IP address from the Internet service provider. With this service, users will get a secondary domain name. The IP address resolution is handled by the DNS service provider. Users are responsible to register with provider. System Administration Basic greater than System. This page shows the system administration status. The server name can be changed for easy access in the future. By typing server name, you will be able to access the data. The default name is the model number followed by the last 6 digits of system's Ethernet MAC address. Users can personalize the server name to their liking. The server port's default setting is 80. which is the default port for Internet browsers. If the MCS device needs to be accessed from the Internet and port 80 is being occupied by another HTTP web server, the port can be changed to another port number. An alternative port number is 8080. If port mapping box is checked, this allows router to map the designated port to the WAN, so this interface can be accessed via Internet. Basic to date and time. Select the time zone where you are at and the time to automatically synchronize with Internet server or manually adjusted. Basic to language. You can set the display language here. The auto setting will automatically set the language to your computer's current language. Firmware upgrade. To upgrade, please download the update file from the support website first, then browse to the upgrade image file and click on upgrade. Upon completion, system will reboot itself. When the firmware upgrade notification is checked, when there is an update available, system will download the upgrade image file and notify users via LCD display and UI login page. Note: please exercise extreme caution when using this option. Power failure during a firmware update may cause permanent damage to the system, rendering the device unusable. System config file. To save system configuration data like network setting, user account setting for backup or system migration purpose. Mail notification. System will send an email to notify designated recipients if there is a system critical error happens, like disk failure, disk removal, system over temperature, etc. Disk and RAID management. Disk info shows detailed information about the drives. Access rights management. Users. This page allows the administrator to add/delete/manage users. User home is a private folder for each individual user. This folder is the same as the user name. If the create home option is set as no, the user can only access the system's public folder and its shared folders. Group. Groups are a class of users with the same access rights. The purpose of creating groups is to simplify user management. First, to create the group and assign the name. Then from here, you can add or delete users in the group. Once finished, the groups now make handling user permissions easy. Shared folder. These folders are used for multiple users accessing shared data. This page allows you to specify the shared folder's name, its path, assign users/groups to the shared folder and specify the access rights to that folder. Just click Save to make it effective. Quota. To enable/disable quota feature and assign quota limitation to each user. Network services. Here, users can enable multiple types of network services. FTP service. FTP server enable/disable and port address SSH service. For secured remote access, enable/disable and port address NFS service. For Linux/Unix access, enable/disable cloud printing service. To print from the Internet to the printer attached to the server AFP service. Setting the AFP access name for this server optional. When the port mapping box is checked, the specific port is visible from the Internet. Please use it with caution. Microsoft Networking MCS5 only provides Microsoft's Active Directory rights management function. Workgroup mode. The user authentication is handled locally. Users can assign the group name for Microsoft Workgroup. Domain mode. The system is an Windows Server client. All authentications of access will be validated by the Windows Server. Please obtain the necessary information from MIS personnel or server. SCSI MCS5 only. Network drive unit is equivalent to the network hard drive. The client software is provided by Microsoft in Windows Professional version, or you can download it from Microsoft. To enable it, create target, HomeTech. Create LUN, user 1, user 2. Specify user 1's target, HomeTech. Modify a LUN name. Modify a LUN path. Delete LUN. Modify target name. Modify target password. Delete target. Clone Me MCS5 only. Check the Enable Clone Me service. You can use KitHeadSync window directory backup to NAS. Users have to NAS. It can be the main machine data, backup to the second NAS as a backup machine. BitTorrent. BitTorrent is a peer-to-peer download service. Here, you can enable/disable BitTorrent downloads, specify the location where the files are downloaded to, and set the port number. Clicking on Go to Transmission web interface, the user can add seeds to the server via this page.
AJAXplorer
is a package which turns the server's SAMP access into web-based access, so users can access the device with any internet browser over the internet. Click Go to
AJAXplorer
takes you to the web interface. The users and data are synchronized with SAMP, so users can have the same experience using Windows Explorer to move data around. SyncBox. SyncBox is an advanced private cloud server software. It gives users the same functionality as Dropbox, iCloud, and Google Drive, synchronizing and sharing data among different devices and people. Users may choose to install it over the web or download from the support website to install it manually. After installation has finished, click on Go to SyncBox to start. If you plan to access the software from the cloud, make sure the 8888, 8886 and 8884 ports are forwarded to this device's IP address. For more detailed operation, please refer to SyncBox Online Manual. The LNA Media Server. This function allows your home media player like PS3 or a Windows Home Theater PC to stream media files from this server. The MINIDLNA_ directory is the location where media files are located. The notify_interval is the time interval in seconds to scan the media folder to acquire the playlist. Too short of an interval may reduce the system performance. This protocol uses the UPnPAV service.
iTunes Media Server.
This server is also capable of streaming media files to Apple's iTunes software on Windows or Mac OS. Check Enable and select the designated folder. Any media files within the folder should appear in iTunes under the Shared section automatically. Web Server MCS5, 3 servers. MCS4, 1 server. When this feature is enabled, the new user webmaster is created. This user is the sole manager of the web server S. The content put in the designated folder will be available via the HTTP port associated with the server. The entry point is index.php or index.html or index.htm. This webmaster account can be accessed by Samba or AXPLR. The password is also webmaster by default. For larger web server, Misclude server can be enabled or just use the built-in SQLite database. Power Management MCS5 only. Power Service. Power Control. Restore power state after power failure. Default is on after power failure. If the system power was on, the power will be turned on within a minute. If the was off, it will stay off. Scheduled sleep timer. System will go to sleep and wake up with preset time. A short press of the power button will wake it up during sleep mode. Restart or shut down. To restart or shut down the system. Hard drive setting. This feature allows user to set the HDD idle spin down timer. Fan mode. To set up the cooling fan behavior. If the fan stop box is checked, fan will stop completely. It is not recommended unless the system is operating in the environment with good ventilation. Normal mode. Fan starts and stops at specified temperature. In normal operation, the new ULE will keep a low running speed. Quiet mode. The fan will start and stop less often to reduce noise. Install Management MCS5 only. A lot more installable software package can be installed/uninstalled/updated here. And the list will be updated often when the new applications are available. All installation will be downloaded and installed. No software image will be provided. Note: all software provided here is from the open source organization. Manufacturer doesn't not provide any support or has any liability for the usage of the software. External device. This page shows any USB devices that are attached to the system. Only mass storage, e.g. USB thumb drives and printer class devices are shown here. Multifunction scanners, faxes, copiers, printers are currently not supported. The TCP port is 9100 to access the printer from the cloud. System status. Network activity and speed are shown. All statistics are plotted on a line graph to visually see the system's current status. Network video recording. Digital network surveillance system. Enable IP camera setup. After selecting IP camera website search, select and enter the account password. Start NDR services. You can set the recording schedule and retention period. Live view. Watch now. Video playback. You can choose to watch the previous video